Hello viewers, it's your girl Ruby Fangirl, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Showa era of the Godzilla suitmation style. And yes, I know it has been a long while since I've done these videos, but originally I was doing this on Sunday, but I was busy, so sorry about that. So yeah, just like I said from like a while ago, we're going to talk about suits, but only from the Showa era. And I got a list right here because, as y'all can tell, I suck at spelling. Especially with these words here. Some of these are really hard for me to spell. So I'm going to be holding up this paper so I can actually read the goddamn, names of these suits. Because they're not easy to say. So, I apologize. So, if you do want to correct me because of my pronunciation, you can comment down below and say, you got this, this is how you spell it. So, yeah, I completely understand, so let's move on. So, our first Godzilla suit design is the Shodai Goji suit. Basically, the very first suit that we were ever seen on the big screen in 1954. And one of my thoughts, on this Godzilla, I mean, he's iconic as heck, obviously, but the only thing I have, a problem with is, the face when it's, when it's, the puppet, or they make, facial, looks down on you rather than on, the side. He looks like a drunk dinosaur for some reason. I mean, hey, it was 1954. I'll let that pass, so, I won't forgive, later on. There's a couple of them I don't really forgive. But for the original, since this was the very first one, and this came out during the 50s, I'll let it pass. So, the next one on the list that came out 1 year after the original, and that is the Gaikusu Goji suit. I don't know how to spell it. That's why I have this paper. Okay, so what about this suit? It's one of my least favorites, mainly because of the face. He looks even more weirder than the original, because at least for the original is iconic, and also even with that one problem with the facial expressions when he's looking down on you looks weird, at least that it does work in some shots. But here it doesn't really work. So yeah, let's just move on, because I have nothing to say about this Godzilla right here from Godzilla Raids Again, so we're not gonna go into that. And next one that came out few years prior is the 1962 version. Personally, my favorite when it comes to Showa era Godzilla films is the King Goji suit from Godzilla vs. Kong. Oops, sorry, wrong one. I mean King Kong vs. Godzilla. Seriously, what is it with modern Hollywood studios making up the same names, but they're switching King Kong and Godzilla's name? I don't get it. But anyway, so why do I really like this one? He just looks really cool. He's more dinosaur look, but unlike the two previous ones that had the fangs and the pointed ears that would make him look like a f***ing vampire, because honestly, Godzilla Raids Again, Godzilla definitely looked like a vampire with his derpy face. This one ditches those, including the extra toe. I don't know why they did that, but maybe it's a lot more easier for the suit actor. I don't know. But he has this kind of green-ish, kind of black mixed with a little bit of green, and I really like that, because I mean he won't be green until 2000s Goji, so yeah. And that's also one of my favorite, but we'll get to that once I talk about the Millennium era. So yeah, I got nothing to say. This is a really great. When I think of the Showa era, I think of the King Goji one. So after that, 2 years later, after the success of King Kong vs. Godzilla, the next one came out was the Mosi Goji suit from 1964 in Mothra vs. Godzilla. And honestly, it is a pretty cool outfit and stuff like that, when you look at the sides. But the face when he looks down, when he looks at the egg, he looks pissed off as hell. Every time, why does he look like that? He looks really goofy and angry for some reason. I don't know why, but I can imagine, a lot of people did a lot of memes of this one picture. So I'd like to know, when you think of this picture, what do you think he would say? Like, basically, what kind of meme format that you think of when you think of like this, like this facial expression? But overall, it is a really decent suit. So it's just decent. Let's move on. And the next one that came out literally 1 year later was the Dai Senso Goji suit from 1965 to 1966, aka Invasion of Astro Monsters and Ibra Horror of the Deep, aka Godzilla versus the Sea Monster for here. And what do I have to say about this suit? I think it's fine. It's not really my favorite out of them all, but I don't really have anything like to say, but it's fine. But like in like Emperor Horror of the Deep, they got rid of like his angry eyes, just gave him less angry brows. Like it's literally the same suit, they just lift his eyebrows up. They will later do that with the Miro Goji's suit, but we'll get to that later. And we're gonna move on to personally my least favorite suit out of the whole entire Godzilla movies. Yes, even more worse than the stupid like Godzilla 1998, and that is the Moso Goji suit from 1967. Despite I do really like this movie, I know it has a lot of problems, but I actually would forgive this compared to like All Monsters Attack and Godzilla 1998. But the suit absolutely sucks. Like, really sucks. Like, because the body is fine, but what do they do to his face? It's like even worse. Like, what do they do to him? He looks like a freaking frog than a dinosaur. Oh my god. Because do you know why he looks like this? Because of his bastard son. That's why. Seriously. I'm sorry. I'm really mad at this because Manila is a freaking disease in the Godzilla franchise. I just want to be like Homer and choke the living absolute shit out of him. And there you go. Okay, let's move on because I don't want to talk about this godforsaken suit ever again. Let's move on. And now, let's go into like the longest and probably like one of the best like suits in the Showa era is the Soshingeki Goji suit from 1968 right up until 1972. So basically from Destroy All Monsters to Godzilla vs. Gigan. So this Godzilla suit has been around for 4 movies. Like, that is so cool. So what do I think about like this suit? I think it's actually good. It's like my second favorite out of like the Showa era Godzilla. Although like the neck looks really long, it makes it more like a giraffe. I don't know why. Like he just has a really long neck for some apparent reason. But overall, I do like this suit, and yeah, I got nothing. Let's move on because it's just a good suit. And finally, the last one that they made out of the Showa era is the Meguro Goji suit from 1973 up to the last movie in 1975, from Godzilla vs. Megalon to Terror of Mechagodzilla. And I do really like this suit, well, except for the Godzilla vs. Megalon, because he looks more like a puppy Godzilla. But for Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla and Terror Mechagodzilla, he looks badass as ever. He looks he's like more angry. At least it's not as goofy as like the Mothra vs. Godzilla one, because he is ready to kick some butt, and I love it. I freaking love it. And that is like the last suit they will make until like Return of Godzilla or Godzilla 1985 for America. So yeah, I'll get to like the Heisei era next year. So yeah, that's all my personal opinions on like the Showa era Godzilla. Despite how I feel about like some of these like Godzilla suits, including like the Son of Godzilla one that is abomination, like no contest, that's just the worst suit ever. I do really appreciate the creativity they put like in like these suits for each movie, despite that some of these movies are not really that great. But I'm not really a big massive fan of the Showa era, but it does have a really decent place in my heart. So I'd like to know from you guys, what is your favorite Godzilla suit? And I would also like to know which one is the best, your best favorite, and which one is your worst. or least favorite. So, yeah, I would like to know in the comments below. But don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.